everyone and welcome. I'm Saskia Fraser from rawfreedom.co.uk and today I am going to be interviewing the gorgeous Fiona Robertson. She's the creator of the Home Detox Box. She runs Retreat Biarritz and she's a raw food mentor, specifically kind of helping people get in touch with their body wisdom. So hello Fiona, welcome.
Hello.
So it's so lovely to have you here because we've been kind of friends. Well, I originally met you through the Home Detox Box and we've been friends for a long time and been accompanying each other on our raw food journey and our business journey as well. So I'm so thrilled to have you here, my lovely friend, to interview.
Thank you. Excited to be asked. Thank you very much.
So do you want to start off by just telling us a little bit about how you got into raw food in the first place?
Yeah, that's kind of cool. It was, I was on a gap year at 39 and I decided I would travel around the world and whatever came up for me I decided I was going to follow. So finished off my Reiki training in South Africa and then went to Thailand. And it was just a huge challenge for me. And the girl that I was traveling with at the time that I met along the way, we said, we have to be doing stuff that we'd never ever do when we go back home. She said, yeah, I agree. So I said, well, God, what are we going to do? So I walked into this bar. We were in Thailand. Walked into this bar. There was a leaflet there, and I picked it up, and it said, detox. And I was like, ooh, what's that? So I asked the guy behind the bar, and he goes, yeah, it's a pretty cool place to go. And, you know, I can tell you a little bit about it, but just read the leaflet. So I read the leaflet, and I went back to my friend and said, look, we need to be doing this. So we just booked and we went and the junk came up and took us to the island. So you're basically on an island, you can't get away. And we went through this 3-day initial detox, and then that was my introduction to raw food. They had a superb raw food restaurant there, and so we did the whole thing that I do now, the whole colon cleansing and the whole, you know, high fiber and clay and enzymes and probiotics and juices and things. And we went through the dip and we came out the other side and we went, we feel amazing. So we carried on after that. We went somewhere else, to Koh Tao, I think, and we just chilled out. We ate really, really simply and drank a lot of water. And we just saw each other's bodies changing and we saw each other's energy changing. And at some point we had to separate because she was going somewhere and I was going somewhere, but we continued and we stayed in touch even to this day. And that was my introduction to raw food. And because it was such a big kapow, I lost weight, I felt fabulous, I had to change the whole wardrobe in my rucksack. Yay! I had to like, oh, 2 t-shirts, another 2 t-shirts. So, and I've just carried on doing that. So, and it was just calling me the whole time, even when I had the children and I couldn't do the detoxes as such. I was like, okay, well, I'll add more raw food in there. How do I do that? So thank God for YouTube. Because I was living in France by the time, I was like, how do I educate myself about this stuff? Green juices, how do you make one of those? So, and reading books and buying books, and yeah, I just really love it, and I love the community that goes along with it as well.
Yeah, so I mean, raw food in France, I mean, I know it's getting easier and easier in England to be into raw food, but what's it like in France?
Well, it was kind of unheard of. It's still pretty special, I would say. I would use those words. I'm still educating people here. I've got some friends now that they all juice, and now I'm educating them about other stuff, sources, and what to do with the leftover juice pulp and everything. But that's just me. So yeah, if you go to a restaurant, you know, it's just a salad with. You know, maybe you have to choose a fish or something, but now I'm brave enough to kind of say, you know, hold the rice, hold the chips, hold this, hold that, and don't cover it in all your oily glue. Yeah, it's special because basically, if you're a vegetarian, you're kind of thought of as different, and they still think, well, you're a vegetarian, that's fine. Well, I put ham in it. It's a bit like that My Big Fat Greek Wedding. I don't know whether you ever saw that when the guy says, I'm a vegetarian. Lamb, we can do lamb. They really, really are meat orientated, especially in the Basque Country, which is where I live. And yeah, so it's special. I like to say it politely.
Yeah, I think it's an amazing thing, because there will be people watching this video, watching our interview, who are from all over the world, and I think it's important to know that everybody, that every country starts off small with raw food, and bit by bit it becomes easier and easier over the years.
I've seen things change. We call them the biological shops here, the organic shops here. They're having a bigger range of nuts and things like that. They still don't do sort of raw chocolate or anything. I still have to import that. But it's becoming easier. And I get clients for my retreat from Norway and Sweden, and they say, oh, yeah, we're getting foods now. We're getting people who are supplying and producing food in our country. I'm like, yay, well done. So it's really nice, because I get an international crowd, then certain countries are streaks ahead of others. And it's really nice to think, yeah, it's coming here, it's arriving, you know. And I know, what are we, 35 minutes away from San Sebastian, because we're right on the Spanish border. One of my clients, she said, they're doing raw food classes in San Sebastian. I'm like, bring it on. I want to help what they're doing, because I want to learn too, because I've only learned from what I've seen or what I've done. I'm very visual, and I like to see how things are prepared, not just from a recipe book or something.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's a fundamental part of, you know, keeping on your journey with eating healthily, is about kind of getting that inspiration, like, in person as much as you can. I mean, I've had people come to my workshops from Spain and, you know, from all over, that they just kind of, they want to actually experience it, what it's like hands-on, and then you see how easy it is, and it's like, oh, great, okay, I can do this.
I didn't know it was going to be that easy. I mean, for me, YouTube, and now this is a new technology for me, so thank you very much, Saskia. Getting myself behind the camera is kind of like freakish for me, even though I used to sell cameras for a living, video cameras. I can't believe I'm so scared of them. But, you know, if it wasn't for the YouTube, it's just what a phenomenal way of changing everybody's lives. It changed my life for being here, because now I'm able to kind of, wonder what that looks like. I wonder how you do that. Just put it in and you can find it. And you find somebody that you resonate with, you kind of, okay, well, I could watch her or him make recipes, and that's just the way you learn.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, so I just want to ask you a bit more about how raw food kind of, how it integrates with your life. So how much raw, how much cooked do you eat?
Okay. It changes depending on the season and the weather, clearly. I thought I could force myself to eat raw food. I've always been quite conscious of my body and body image, which has been highlighted for me along the way, but even this week, speaking to somebody, it's been highlighted to me about that. So I tried to force myself down just eating raw food, but for a long time it hasn't suited me. I still need the warmth, and I still need the comfort, and I still need certain things that warm food gives me, not necessarily always cooked food, but certainly warm food. So soups and things like that work very, very well for me. I would say 80-20. I love that kind of figure, that 80% would be raw and 20% would be of something cooked. But that's not every day. So when the weather's fine and I'm feeling on top of the world, I can eat very little, and I'm just eating my juices and the crackers that I make and a dip or something. And then I can be 100%. You think, oh, I haven't even thought about it. But then other days you kind of, oh, I just fancy something warm. What do I fancy? Oh, quinoa, but I'll put one of my salad dressings with it, and I'll put a big salad with it. You know, done. The difficulty comes when I've got 2 young boys, 9 and 7, and of course they like to eat the way they like to eat. So it's sometimes that if my weakness is there, I notice I very much end up eating what they're eating, but always with a salad on the table. So if you ever ask them, what does Mummy eat? Salad. She eats a salad. So whatever they're eating with a salad, but it's always with something raw on the plate, you know. So when I'm on my own, it's pretty much like 90%.
Yeah, I remember, like, when I go through phases of being really high raw, how things like, you know, something that's come out of the oven actually smells burnt, even when it's not officially burnt, and it's like all your taste and smell sensations completely change when you're really, really high raw.
Almost, I don't mean this nastily, but it's almost kind of repulsive to me to be thinking about that in my body, and that's how I feel after I've done a detox or a fast. Food is just not attractive, but cooked food is very addictive. We know that, and hey, I'm not saying I never eat cooked food, because I do, but you tune up and then you tune down again. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And how about winter? How do you deal with winter?
Winter, I've been introduced a little bit more to Ayurvedic cooking and spices and those kind of things. I'm really getting into some of those. So I would have a dal, or I'd have lentils, and I'd have some sort of dish like that. Always, again, with a salad. I can't help it. It's just the texture and the juiciness and the moist. It's just me. Must have been a few years ago now. I went to stay with family, and they were in Holland, and the lady of the house, the mother of the house, she said to me, "What can I do you a favour with?" She said, "I try and do vegetarian, but what would you really, really like?" And I said, the big salad that you normally put on the table for everybody to share. I kind of want all that to myself. And she went, no, come on, I can get you something else. I mean, we can provide fish. I said, no, I just really want salad. And then I knew, okay, lettuce wasn't for me.
Can you tell us a bit about how raw food has influenced your business and your business choices? Because I know that you ran a different kind of business before, didn't you? And
before, when I was in the UK?
Yeah, so I'm presuming that your gap year after that business, which I think is so inspiring. At 39 you took a gap year. Bring it on. Fantastic.
Well, it's kind of taken over in a funny way. It's the people I want to be surrounded by. I love the business that I do, because I really love it when somebody comes to a retreat and I can see how they came and I can see how they leave. They go through their ups and downs during the week, but I just know when they come, I'm like, oh, you're just going to be vibrant when you leave. And so anybody who comes with kind of bright blue eyes anyway, I'm just like, your eyes are going to be hypnotizing by the end of the week. I love it when I can supply somebody raw food and they've never tasted it before and they've never had it before, and they go, I feel really satisfied. That was fine. That was enough. Normally, I would normally think that I needed more. So in that way, that's why I do what I do. And then to hear from somebody maybe 2 years later or a year later, and you think, I haven't heard from them, and okay, well, fine, they're on their journey. And they text me or email me and they go, do you know what, you changed my life. And I think, okay, well, you decided to come here, so it was your decision. But yay, well done for you. And it just fills me that, okay, I'm doing what I want to do. I enjoy it. They enjoy it. They change their life. And they may come to do with weight loss as initially the draw why they've come to do a detox or a fast, but it's always way more than that.
When people are choosing to come to a raw food thing for weight loss, there's a level of consciousness around that people are already open to something new, so they're not looking just at the food, they're open to looking at other things as well.
When you have people come and say to you, I've been watching your website for the last year until I could afford to come, or you sent me a postcard or something, you just got into my circle somehow and I saw it and I felt emotional, I knew I had to come. It was like, okay, I'm really thrilled you're here.
Yeah, it's just so incredibly gratifying, isn't it, to be kind of following your passion in your work and knowing that people's lives, that they're changing their lives through your help.
Somebody said to me, when are you going to start eating normally again? When are you going to start drinking again or eat? I was like, I don't think I am, actually. This is who I am now. This is what I do. Well, I can't believe that it makes you feel different from your toes up. And again, I had to sit there and think about it and thought, do you know what it does? It makes me feel different from my toes up. When I do it and I'm happy doing it, and I know if I maybe used to go on the chips or whatever for a while, and then you know what it feels like in your body. And this is where I'm coming from. You get to know how it feels in your body. So even if you're overeating on raw, which I can happily, easily do, but you get to a point you kind of go, if I eat any more, it's not going to give me energy anymore. It's going to start taking energy away. I'm just going to feel exhausted. So it's a life changing, whether you want it or not. You come on a retreat or you go on raw food, you'll never be the same again, happily. You know, I've seen people who come with eczema, head to toe, and within 1 week that's gone, because we do the colon cleanse and everything as well. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it's magic stuff, isn't it? It's that whole thing of taking responsibility for yourself, mind, body, and spirit, that just kind of it takes you on a whole being healing journey.
Yeah, in the fact that, I mean, I've had people come and they've come back a year later and they've said, you know, I keep falling off, keep doing this and keep doing that. I said, you're going to have to upgrade your friends, hey? Yeah. And they went, yeah, I know. And, you know, then they'll email me and they kind of go, you know, I found some amazing people that I really want to hang out with now. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, that's actually leads me brilliantly on to my next question, which is how has eating and being into raw influence your relationships?
Yeah, like I said before, you know, now the people that I hang out with, even here, it's not a prerequisite, but it helps. They have a juicer.
Yeah.
They want to know, you know, what else can I do? And it's a bit sad when you go to a party and, you know, your reputation precedes you, and all people want to talk to you about is what you do for a living. It's like, okay. It does. It changes the relationships that you want to be in, the people you want to be around, the friends you want to have, and the food you want to eat. I've been to parties and I've brought something to the party to eat, and then I said, look, I've got to go pick somebody up at the airport. And the host and hostess said, oh my God, but you haven't eaten anything. It's a barbecue and you have to leave. I said, I didn't come for the food. I came to see you.
Mm.
And that kind of puts a different tilt on things. And how's it upgraded my relationships? It's just ongoing. It's nothing that you can explain. It just happens when it happens. You just kind of go, you know, you're not doing it for me anymore. I know that I like quality time with somebody. I know that I need certain things to feel right in my body, that it feels comfortable and relaxed and peaceful or fun and vibrant. But if it's just hard work and you're always the one doing, feeling like it's an effort, or you feel drained afterwards, any relationship, and when I say relationship, it can be a personal relationship, a work relationship, a relationship with your environment, and what I talk about is a relationship with your food. How you relate with one thing is how you relate with everything. And so you upgrade one thing and you can't help but upgrade everything else. You upgrade the colours you want to wear, you upgrade the place you want to live, you upgrade the water you want to drink, endless.
Yeah, and it doesn't all happen overnight. It's something that evolves, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we spoke when, because we contacted each other and kind of said, oh, great, you know, you're starting your business around the same time I am. It would be nice to track each other. And I think we normally called about once a year and said, how's it going? So I know that it's taken, was it about 8 years or something like that, just to get to this particular stage. But they're all parts of a jigsaw that just come in at different times when things are right for you. So you're doing certain things already, and maybe I'm doing things already, but it's just things that just need fixed and tuned up and turned around and changed the whole time. And no, of course it's not overnight. And some people can do it overnight. They took the microwave out, they took the oven out, they empty their cupboards and they say, right, this is what I'm going to do from now on. But mostly 99% of the people that I speak to, it's just a constant path. And still now, it's a constant path of where I want to go and what I want to change when I feel like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And certainly, you know, my experience with the raw food path, the raw food journey, is that the gentler and kinder you are to yourself, no matter what you eat, the more centered and at peace you're going to be with yourself and your life.
Yeah. Hence, that takes me back to what you asked me before, and I really tried to force myself for a long time to do the raw food path, thinking this is the way forward, this is it for me. You know, I'll lose the weight, I'll have the image, I'll have the healthy hair, the face, and all the rest of it, and keep young. Yeah, sure, but I think I had somebody even say to me, my partner at the time, he said to me, "You are so hard on yourself." Am I? You know, and yeah, so since then it's kind of like, hey, how can I be more gentle with this? Because that's clearly not working for me. You know, if I had a piece of bread, I mean, that's doing me far less damage than me beating myself up constantly for all the things that I supposedly have done wrong on this raw food diet or this detox diet. Take it out the window and start, feeling what's easier on your body.
Yeah, yeah. What are the main kind of feelings that you get from eating raw that make you feel so passionate about it, about the detoxing and the raw?
I just feel energetic. I feel alive. But sometimes when you are detoxing and eating raw, because you are cleaning at the same time, your body's just going, do you know what? That's enough for today. You need to go and lie down. You need to go and rest. And you'll remember at a time that we talked before, it was just kind of like, I was keeping on going and going and going and going. And you even said, you know, you need to just take time out. I'm like, I can't do that. I'll never make the time up. But then when I did it, it's just that peace. It's just that gentleness with yourself.
For me, it's certainly all around kind of like, it kind of brings out the best in me. It brings out my curiosity. It brings out my vulnerability. It brings out my joy. It brings out my ability to be open and honest with people.
Sure.
Yeah. You know, which sometimes can be a bit uncomfortable.
You said what?
It's about being real, isn't it? It's like real food, real relationships with others, real relationship with yourself.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, a real relationship with yourself, to know exactly who you are, what you stand for. Authenticity is something that's coming up for me big time over the last year, 2 years. It's like, what do I think about that? Wow, okay, yeah, what do I think about that? What do I feel about that, more to the point? And am I able to vocalize that, you know, and yeah, frog in the throat, even thinking about it. And it's just somewhere that a lot of people seem to be when they start raw food. Is kind of and detoxing in any manner. It just takes away all the masks that you are used to hiding behind, and it's just like, well, actually, this is me. This is who I am. So I'm beginning to really like myself the way I am. So here I am.
Yeah, absolutely. But we were talking about, you know, I've just turned 40, you've just turned 50, and that kind of, you know, that, kind of like, oh, wow, and scary and exciting at the same time, because there's something about, like, entering a new decade where you can kind of shed a skin from the previous decade and become even more fully yourself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Definitely. If you've got the room to sort of spread your wings and take the mask off and allow yourself to be seen for who you are and allow yourself to be vulnerable, which has been a new experience for me over the last few months as well. It's kind of, oh, that's what vulnerability is all about. I mean, we're in a different generation. We're all evolving, and the whole being vulnerable thing, we were, maybe you as well, but we were all brought up with, don't show your vulnerability. That's a sign of weakness. Somebody will get the better of you if you show your weakness. So keep strong. I am ace at keeping strong. I'm ace at putting the mask up and not letting anybody in. So this whole thing of, you know, vulnerability is a strength. I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. So to get in touch with the body then, which is where I'm going now, and sort of saying, so what is it I'm actually feeling? I don't know. I don't have a word for it. I don't know what that feeling is. I can't vocalize it, I can't express it, it's just phenomenal. You know, because I don't have the vocabulary. I'm learning the vocabulary. I'm becoming a translator for what's going on inside my body, and my head is just there to kind of give it a word. Does that word feel right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that you said that I feel is really key is you were talking about the room, you know, the space to actually start kind of feeling, like you're saying, that kind of body wisdom, feeling into who you really want to be, and are you following and chasing a dream or an idea of who you wanted to be, what you wanted to do, that is actually outmoded and doesn't really suit you anymore?
I'm laughing because I run these retreats, and I did start these retreats as from my home that I used to live in. So they started small, but I got really, really busy, and yeah, that's pretty cool. So I decided, well, I want to do them from a big place. You know, I want to do them from this, you know, sumptuous place. So I did it, done that. And to the point where I'm kind of like, I don't want to do that anymore. Was that my ego that wanted me to do that? Yeah, certainly for some points in time, but I wasn't as much of an educator when I was running the retreats in such a big place, because you end up being a different person running around doing all sorts of things, rather than if you keep it small and very personal, then you're able to get much more in touch with the person and really care about them and really get to where they're going, and you see a lot of yourself. And when you're on that level, when you're connected on that level with somebody. So talking about revamping things, yeah, I had this fantastic location to do the retreats. I may use it again, but I'm evolving. And I realised it was kind of my tick the box, I'm successful, I've done retreats in a venue like this.
Yeah, so such a relief to be able to let go of that kind of stuff, isn't it?
It's scary. I'm not saying I won't do them again. It's not like I won't do retreats, because I will. But it's,
yeah, you know, and I know you run amazing retreats as well. So
a more real retreat where people are really allowed the space to go through the motions and go through the work that I want to present to people now, in that they can feel their own body wisdom and they can really feel what's going on. So when they leave, they have something to take with them, not just a week of, okay, all very well, doing a detox, a colon cleanse, raw food, learning about raw food. That's phenomenal in and of itself. We will still do that, but with that, I really want to connect with the people who are coming so that they can really get in touch with themselves to find out what it is that they want, rather than saying, oh, raw food, like I did. This is what I do, don't 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 do.
And you were talking about the fact that you're now actually coaching people specifically around connecting with your body wisdom, which sounds really exciting. I mean, it's something I bang on about a lot, you know, that our bodies are the wisest thing. We think that it's all up here in our brains, and yet our bodies hold so much more wisdom than our brains. You know, it can tell us how to be happy. It can tell us what doesn't make us happy, what does make us happy. And so the fact that you're coaching people specifically on training them, tell me about it. What is it that you actually do with people when you're doing that?
The draw is people who are, like myself, finding food a way to comfort yourself and myself. So, and feeling, you know, bad body image or whatever the reasons are, that's the initial draw that draws people in, to want to discover more about themselves and to discover how do I feel about that, rather than following this diet or what this doctor said or what society says or those kind of things. So when I'm coaching someone, we go through several different processes. So we're talking about specific questions, and I'll be listening to what their answers are, but I'll also be feeling whether that's congruent, whether that's resonating with me, that's what's going on. We also do something that I've learned through, she's great. She's an American lady called Mama Gina. She's naughty, and I love her because I'm naughty too. So we do some certain things that she's taught me how to do, in the fact that we really just, we pick a subject, a word, and we just go really into it. So, and when you go into it, the emotions come up, which is fantastic. You can actually feel it. You feel where it sits in the body. And then when you get to a certain point, it's like, what do I have on that? And what, okay, maybe somebody else has done that to me, but have I ever done that to somebody? And you get in the end to resolving what it is, and you've actually felt it. So if it's a massive fear of yours, then you can actually feel it, sit with it, absorb it, then it's okay. You understand when it comes up again, that's what that is. And then it's not something that you'll be habitually wanting to eat or drink or distract yourself from in the future. You can, I'm not scared of that anymore. I've been there, I've done that. I know how to deal with that. But like you said before, being open and aware, and it's just layers of an onion. So, you know, one thing will come up, abandonment or rejection or whatever the pain is that you are hanging on to, and your body's hanging on to, and it'll hang on to it as fat, or it'll hang on to it stored anger, it'll hang on to it as anger in your liver, it'll hang on to it with thyroid problem, all this kind of stuff. And I don't know if I'm explaining myself very well because I get so passionate about it. But cutting a path through so that people can feel something for themselves, about themselves, and then not be scared of it in the future. And we do this for about, my program's 6 weeks, and some people have decided, I want to go on for longer, but instead of doing it every week, can we do it once a month? Oh, absolutely, because it's just having somebody there to hold you accountable, who's kind of saying, hey, what's going on, what's coming up for you right now? And whatever's coming up for them, occasionally is coming up for me as well. I'm like, okay, I'm right here with you, so let's clear this out.
Yeah, great. So it's that real thing of kind of, yeah, of supporting somebody through their journey and not being, you know, sort of better than, because I think quite often there's this, certainly within the raw food world as well, there's this idea that there's these people who are somehow doing it right. You know, they're doing it better than I'm doing it, which I think is why in the beginning a lot of people really drive themselves. And the reality is that, you know, you and I are very kind of honest and upfront about the fact that we are emotional eaters, that we are still dealing with our stuff around it, that sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's not so good, and that it's all a journey and getting better year on year. And I think, I really hope that people who are listening, watching this video, really are aware of that fact, you know, that you're okay. You know, you've got to start somewhere. And you will, as soon as you start to become more conscious and self-aware, rather than food ruling you, you begin to have more spaciousness and awareness around your relationship with food.
Yeah, food and everything else, because, I mean, we've got all these things pumping into us the whole time. You know, buy this car, watch this program, be here, wear this, supermarkets, you know, special offers, blah, 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 blah. But what I'm finding now is I'm just really comfortable with thinking, how does that feel for me? Do I really want to shop in that shop anymore? Do I want to buy this? So you really are, it's your guide for everything. And if you can actually get to that point, and I'm playing with it and playing with it, I'm not there by any manner of means, but I'm playing with it and just allowing it, the whole area of the gut has so much more intelligence to it than the brain. There's so much more information coming from the gut. And I don't know how, but I mean, this seems to be my career now. And bowels. And whatever you leave behind and get rid of. There's so much more information coming from the gut going up to your head. So your body's talking to you the whole time. And we think it's our head strategizing, and it's not. It's the body is talking to you. And if we're able to get there, concentrating on food as we do, because that's our métier, that's what that's the thing that got us involved. So our relationship with our food is also then, wow, do you know what? I do that with my personal relationships as well. I try and force my way through, or I try and do this or that. It's just an insight, and then you can actually ask your body, do I like being in this person's company? Do they fulfill me? Does it work? Is it an effort? Does this job, you know, does this price that I'm charging, is this, you know, something that's for me or not? It's just, it's a place for all decisions to be made once you can be at peace in your gut.
It's about kind of trusting yourself, isn't it? Learning to trust yourself.
it's just taking responsibility for yourself where you are, rather than having somebody else tell you what's right for you.
Okay, so Fiona, if people want to find out more about you and your coaching, where should they go?
At the moment, I'm changing my website, but you can still get hold of me at www.retreatbiarritz.com, and I think you've got that written somewhere around.
Yeah, we'll put that link below the video.
I've
so
got,
people can
I've got a code on there which explains what I do and how to contact me and get in touch with me. So yeah, that's how
people are interested in talking to you about your 6-week program, your Body Wisdom program, then they can ring you or contact you through the website.
My new website will be just fionarobertson.co, and that's coming. But as you know, these things take time.
They do.
It won't be perfect when it arrives either.
All right, Fiona, well, it's been such a joy speaking to you. Thanks so much for taking time out of your day to be here. Thank you, everybody who's watching, for watching this. And as we said, there's more information about Fiona and what she does below the video, so you can kind of click on the links and find out more about her. Okay, lots of love to you, Fiona.
Very much. Enjoy seeing you again. See you, honey.